Hi, I'm Maadhav, 15 years old. I love my PlayStation and music is my passion. There's a famous quote by Albert Einstein: "Adversity introduces a person to himself." Here is my journey and how it has shaped me. 3 years ago, my 12-year-old self was on a hospital bed, sedated, and undergoing a growth hormone stimulation test, which involved injecting a chemical into my body to drop my blood pressure to dangerously low levels, to emulate a condition where my body would secrete the growth hormone. My mother stood at my bedside, trying to stop her tears, while my father's helpless gaze was constantly fixed on the monitor as my vitals plummeted to near coma levels. All this was happening because of a series of events in my school over the past 3 years. While my classmates had hit puberty and had grown physically, I had not grown at all. I was the shortest kid in class, and hence at the receiving end of verbal and physical abuse. Of course, there was nothing I could do about my condition. It turned out that my born age was 2 years below my physical age, so there were good chances that I was a late bloomer. But my peers did not understand this and relished bullying me constantly. I was in such a sensitive state of mind that at one point I contemplated committing suicide. Though the test results revealed that there was no problem with my hormonal secretions, I was too scared to go back to school. So my parents decided to change my environment by changing my school. Indeed, this pivot turned out to be a life-changing decision. I have been playing the drum set since I was 5 years old. On a visit to the NGO my parents were associated with, I saw an opportunity not only to contribute my musical learnings to benefit the underprivileged youth there, but also to divert my mind from the tumult I was going through. So one cold Sunday morning, in January 2019, I picked up part of my drum kit and asked my father to drive me to Arvindam Foundation to teach drums to the kids of Dharam slums, Gurgaon, who were students there. I placed the equipment in the center of the NGO and piqued the interest of kids to attract the attention of the NGO coordinator, who then organized them into a group. 8 weeks into regular Sunday morning sessions, Arvindam started to reserve a space and named the group Gurukul Western Drummers. Participants were allowed to miss other classes and join my class. There were about 12 learners at this point. I realized it was important to drive the learners towards a goal, otherwise they and I would soon lose interest. So I decided to select a few students who I would train to appear for the ROT School, also known as RSL UK, drum performance exams. This is the same curriculum which I have been learning. This would not only focus them on a specific goal, but also would be very beneficial for the socio-economic upliftment, as RSL is globally recognized as an organization that offers certified vocational music training. So my learners would start their journey on becoming professional musicians in future. They could become music instructors, teachers, performers, composers, music technicians. This would create a positive and permanent impact on the learners as individuals and as members of their communities. I raised Rs 27,000 via crowdfunding from friends and family, with a campaign run over WhatsApp and Facebook. With the money collected, I presented a new drum kit to my students. In November 2019, I shortlisted 3 junior and 2 senior students for training to appear for the RSL debut grade exams in March 2020. Through another round of crowdfunding, I signed up and paid the exam fee for these students. But the COVID pandemic hit the world, and the lockdown restrictions in India prevented my learners and I from visiting the Gurukul to practice. To overcome the situation, I recorded videos of RSL debut grade and grade 1, created a YouTube channel, and posted the instructional videos for the learners to follow from the safety of their homes. Since they did not have drum kits at home, I improvised, therefore encouraging them to practice using spoons, plates, and bowls. Soon, the learners started recording videos and sharing with me over WhatsApp. I guided them and took weekly online classes to correct them and to keep them in good spirits through this difficult period. The outcome and what motivated me to carry on. The joint effort yielded excellent results, and my learners not only appeared for the RSL recorded video exams in June 2020, but also performed brilliantly. I overcame this situation with the help of technology and by coming up with simple solutions to complex problems we faced. The most important learning for me was that underprivileged kids were as talented as any other and are in fact hungrier to learn. It takes me 1 year to complete a RSL grade, but my learners can not only learn a grade but perfect it within 6 months. One of my learners, Lakshay, mastered 2 RSL grades in a year, scoring 96 on 100 in debut grade, the highest in North India, and 88 on 100 in grade 1 respectively.
Hello, my name is Lakshay Vashist. I am appearing for Rock School Grade 1 Performance Exam. My date of birth is 29 December 2006. My first track will be Billie Jean.
This is despite the obvious lack of access and resources. On the personal front, I started to grow physically. My confidence increased and I began to emerge from the depressive state of mind I had gotten myself into. Academically, I have gone from almost failing grade 8 to performing quite well in my grade 10 exams. Once I got an opportunity to come out of my shell, I experienced metamorphosis. And I started to think about what next. How do I shape and scale my passion into a career, into immersing myself into a field? And I found a solution. While participating in the MOOC, Entrepreneurship in Emerging Economies by Howard Etz, I got inspired with Dr. Devi Shetty's Narayana Health business model. So far, I have been crowdfunding my social impact initiative, but I realized that it was possible to transform this into a revenue generating social enterprise. I changed from offline to online learning and used it to my advantage, and utilized this opportunity to pivot towards online music education. This is more scalable and more cost efficient than traditional music schools. After several iterations, I came up with a business model, charging students less than market rate for online music lessons and utilizing the fee collected towards equipment and certification fee of less privileged students. In July 2020, I launched my own non-profit, Surf Foundation. For every paying student I got, I could train and get certified 5 non-paying students. Furthermore, the outstanding exam results of my underprivileged learners led to an exponential growth in demand from students at Arvindam, India. To meet this burgeoning interest, I launched SURF as a student-led club in my high school and recruited student mentors who are my schoolmates, learning musical instruments and wanting to teach. This way, I could enroll more paying students and non-paying learners and expand to other instruments such as guitar, vocals, etc. Currently, SURF Foundation mentors 16 learners on the drum set and 5 learners on vocals. So far, we have trained and certified 30 underserved learners who have been taking the RSL exams. I have raised Rs 3,80,000 till now to cover a training, exam fee, and recently to renovate the drum practice room at the Gurukul my underserved learners are students of. My journey came full circle when, in recognition of my social impact work, I was declared a national champion and bestowed with the Primerica India Spirit of Community Award 2021. I realized that all my previous experiences had led up to this achievement. I had grown much taller than all the bullies combined. Having gained experiences in making the most of crash-opportunity situations, my goal is to get relevant education around growing SURF Foundation, as I aspire to make it an on-demand, global, technology-driven, collaborative social impact platform for vocational education and training. My mission is to make music accessible to talented youth so that passions can flourish free of the levels of privileges granted by destiny, thereby helping them to enrich their lives. I believe this is one of the ways for societies to prosper and to become equitable. I'd like to close with a quote from one of my favorite books, Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell. We looked at the young Bill Gates and marveled that our world allowed that 13-year-old to become a fabulously successful entrepreneur. But that's the wrong lesson. Our world only allowed one 13-year-old unlimited access to a time-sharing terminal in 1968. If a million teenagers had been given the same opportunity, how many Microsofts would we have today? Thank you.